On February the 10th of the year 2015, I was kidnapped with a false bench warrant regarding California Penal Code 853.7 regarding a failure to appear for a battery charge, which is the California Penal Code 242. The Los Angeles Airport La Cienega Municipal Court and the Superior Courts there decided that I was incompetent to stand trial after defending myself from being falsely imprisoned. So I'm just going to tell my testimony about false imprisonment and about psychiatry and what psychiatry did to me when I was falsely imprisoned in Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County is in part property of the Ukraine and also part of the Arabian Empire with the United Kingdom. So it's a really giant heroin trade, and there's a lot of crack cocaine and stuff like that pertaining to regimes controlling Los Angeles County. So what happened to me is that I was forced to take Thorazine at first from a doctor there. One of the doctors there was an Asian lady. Most of psychiatry is Asian people, so it's really funny because Chinese organ harvesting usually refers to Chinese people, and the psychiatric personnel at Los Angeles County Jail is all Asian. So Los Angeles County Jail abducts people while they're sleeping. Los Angeles County Jail is a giant spaceship for siphoning water. So it has a lot of different designs for filtering water, and it rocks back and forth. The Twin Towers Foundation actually rock back and forth regarding a spaceship foundation. So Los Angeles County Jail hides Dave, the founder of Wendy's, and it hides Tupac Shakur, and it hides Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley. Los Angeles County hides all of these celebrities that the news media says died. They didn't die, they were just from the Illuminati and from the Al-Qaeda, so they have the right to erase their existence regarding the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army was also part of the Al-Qaeda and specifically the KGB regarding psychiatry. So psychiatry was everything from the KGB to the Al-Qaeda. It was all based off of genocide of non-Nordic persons or non-desirable specimens. So Dr. Palermo at the jail in Los Angeles County prescribed me Thorazine, which was actually probably the Torres family's idea with George Bush. In the year 2001, George Bush was involved in attempted manslaughter where my person was likely murdered and then resuscitated with 2 torture devices in the year 2001. So the Torres family from Santa Cruz County, who I went to Harbor High School with, were involved in attempting murder on my person while falsely in prison, likely. So when I took Thorazine, my heart started beating really fast and I started getting really hot, so I had to stop taking it, and then my skull started expanding a little bit just from one pill, just from one Thorazine pill. So next, I was given liquid Haldol, and liquid Haldol, when I had taken it, it actually was a dead child, and it was a supermodel's estrogen. I was drinking a supermodel and estrogen because I was ordered as a transgender by the British royal family, the Prince William and the Duke of Cambridge, and the British ordered me as a transgender because of being scrawny. I have scaphocephaly, so I don't have a lot of muscle tissue, I don't have a lot of bone tissue because of malicious practicing at birth. So when I was given liquid Haldol, it was part estrogen from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Also, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement also started feeding me their estrogen in Haldol. Haldol made me see colors really bad, and it was really intoxicating. I couldn't breathe right. I had a lot of paranoia using Haldol, and I was vomiting. I was trying to vomit out as much as possible. Haldol took the dopamine away from my feet, so I had a lot of pain in my feet from Haldol. I couldn't jump off of the bunk. When I was in the education pod, I was stabbed with a handshake with a pencil by a gang member in the schooling pod. And one of the teachers there was a PCP user, and they showed me a character named Halle Mary, and Halle Mary was based off of the United Kingdom murdering Rachel Sullivan and then replacing Rachel Sullivan with the false impersonator regarding the doppelganger. So I had to watch Halle Mary using Rachel Sullivan's voice to talk about marijuana lowering the IQ 4 points. Keep in mind that it wasn't false imprisonment that lowered my IQ 4 points. It was marijuana that lowered my IQ 4 points, and it wasn't that the government was telling me that I failed to appear to court. So the only thing is that after using liquid Haldol, then I had to start using Zyprexa and hydroxyzine, and Zyprexa convulsed my body out of control, so my body went incontinent. And then Zyprexa started taking all of my brain tissue and hardening my bowel movements. Zyprexa actually took all of the dopamine for comfort. Believe it or not, dopamine makes it so that we can hide in small spaces. Dopamine makes it so that we can withstand death, we can withstand depression. So Zyprexa took all of the dopamine that made it possible for me to withstand being within small enclosures. So if I wanted to work in a construction site, within a trench, I was disabled from doing that by using Zyprexa. And also what it did was it made it so that I was fully depressed and I was fully afraid of death. And I felt myself completely depressed because dopamine makes it so that we're no longer depressed. Dr. Cynthia Chivera of the Los Angeles County Jail said that she needed to work on my basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is what controls our heart and our lungs, but the basal ganglia is also a part of a $350,000 Chinese organ harvesting black market. So there was a lot of interesting things that happened to me while falsely in prison. Some of the paint in the jail had heroin payments. The jail was collecting as much gold from Mexican breath as possible, so the jail was putting in new safety features regarding falsely imprisoning people, because people were throwing themselves over the posts after being falsely imprisoned by Los Angeles County Jail. They were killing themselves. Los Angeles County Jail also had a lot of malicious television programming. So when I went there, a lot of times the programming there was based off of murdering, or it was based off of hunting, or some of it was based off of the NBA, which wasn't too bad. But the only thing is that Los Angeles County Jail was a maximum security federal penitentiary. So when I was in Los Angeles County Jail, I was actually in a maximum security federal penitentiary, which everybody should know about when visiting Los Angeles County, that its jail is a federal penitentiary. So on February 10th, between February 10th of 2015 and February 11th, right inside of the entry to the facility, it smelled like crack cocaine right away. Jim McDonald made his jail smell like crack cocaine through the air vents. And then from there, they made me go into a room and strip down in front of tens of other men, a lot of other men, and we all had to hang out and change and get strip searched. And then when you go into the jail, Asian people started taking your hygiene products while sleeping. So the first thing that happened is all of my hygiene products got stolen from me while sleeping. And there was a lot of torture regarding anxiety because of Los Angeles County Jail being a maximum federal penitentiary facility. The food was a percentage of cannibalism, but it was also for blinding. The food was just pasta with a chicken flavor. It also had bologna with traces of human, Mexican food with face deforming. Los Angeles County Jail deformed my facial contours just from its Mexican food, which was like a tortilla. It was like a tortilla plate, and it deformed my face fat glands. And its milk had estrogen in it. The Los Angeles County Jail's milk Hollandia had estrogen in it, and it made me vomit a lot of times, and it expired in like 2 hours of coldness. Los Angeles County Jail took me to a maximum security facility where once a week I was allowed to go out to another recreational area where outside views were blocked. So in other words, recreation was just going from one security facility to another security facility without being able to look outside without being able to look at trees. Los Angeles County Jail would shut down and lock down just to force people to take psychiatric medicine. And then Los Angeles County Jail would completely injure people regarding riots. So if somebody got into a fight, Los Angeles County Jail would launch like Agent Orange, and it would flood pepper into everybody's lungs and stuff like that. And so I was there witnessing a few jail fights, but I also witnessed that the psychiatric court, the District Court 95 and District Court 3 of Los Angeles County Jail, completely said that I was incompetent to stand trial because I told the truth about my appearance in court. What happened is that I went to court regarding a battery on 2 elderly people, and when I had appeared to court, it had already been 3 days, or actually 2 days. The public defender gave me a no contest plea bargain for time served, and it was a no contest plea bargain for time served. But then the Federal Bureau of Investigation inserted an extortion bench warrant into the National Crime Information Center, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation used the National Crime Information Center to lower my IQ 4 points, but also to attempt murder, to attempt a manslaughter on me regarding apprehending most wanted fugitives. As far as I know, the FBI decided after my finding most wanted fugitives that it still wanted to combat with me, so it did a false bench warrant to me that I have to make a YouTube about. So just be careful when you guys come to Los Angeles County, because Calvin Brodus was talking to the intercom to all of the jail prisoners. Calvin Brodus and Madonna Sisson were likely both at the Los Angeles County Jail, but even Dave from Wendy's was also talking to the intercom at the Los Angeles County Jail, and they were playing music trying to comfort me and stuff like that. But it was too discomforting being a false prisoner, and my back was getting microwaved by Champ. When I tried writing letters, Champ was messing up my microwave. Champ is a Pentagon weapon that dismembers tissue, human tissue. With Champ, the United States Department of Justice pops bones and melts muscles and causes gangrene, so they were using Champ on me. And then Liz Pisano, my sister Liz Pisano, was operating the phone while I was in jail. I was trying to use the phone, and Liz Pisano was operating the phone. So was Axl Rose. And then the newspapers that came in had Mexican newspapers like La Opinión, and La Opinión was advertising false attorneys like Savag Negogosian. Savag Negogosian was advertised as a licensed attorney, but Savag Negogosian was not a state bar certified attorney with a state bar number. So Los Angeles County Jail also showed me a picture of my sister Nubia Pisano with La Opinión, and my sister Nubia Pisano was in a picture of a woman named Ruth's death. So there was a lot of stuff that the United States was doing to me to hallucinate me and to create anxiety, to punish me, in efforts to conceal putting CIA implants into my head regarding Chinese organ harvesting, and specifically regarding the Mexican mafia. So a lot of the territories in the state of California specifically come from the mafia and really have nothing to do with Mexico, but more have to do with Sicilian and Arabians. So the mafia is mainly based off of Sicilians and Italians and Arabians kind of taking over with skin tagging with the Ukraine. And I think that Guadalupe Hidalgo's family actually sold the state of California to the Ukraine. So now the Ukraine is just skin tagging everybody who they don't desire in their territories for the Hispanic people who came and took over Mexico and made it a part of Spain. So here in parts of secret Spain, we get skin tagged, and we have to combat the highest offices of the government because the Spanish people being too fascist and Spanish people being too cruel and unusual regarding concealing the KGB's most advanced technology for psychological warfare. So when you guys come out to Los Angeles County, just be careful, because it's mainly based off of the Al-Qaeda and the mafia. So Los Angeles County is mainly just regimes like the Fox regime, the Figueroa regime, the Hidalgo regime, and all of these regimes do whatever they want to do, and it doesn't matter. and they Chinese organ harvest, and then all of their harvesters get to have rap albums and stuff like that. So a lot of people that you listen to on the radio are Chinese organ harvesters, including people from MTV, from music television. A lot of them do Chinese organ harvesting with the United States Central Intelligence Agency. So just a heads up on visiting LA, and just be wise, be blessed, and know about my life story.